Hello, everyone. Dear Prime Minister of the Republic of Kosovo, Mr. Haradinaj, dear President of RIT Kosovo, Mrs. Sharon Hart, dear staff, students, and media. I am Rina Bulici, President of International Relations and Law Club. I would like to thank Prime Minister Haradinaj for being here today on behalf of our club, and thank you all for being present in today's forum. Our guest will discuss the transition of the Kosovo Security Force, and as we know, this topic is particularly important for our university, considering the presence of the cadets here, as can be seen from their presence in this forum also. Without further ado, I would like to invite President Sharon Hart for opening remarks. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Prime Minister. Very, very happy to see all of our students here in attendance today and some other visitors in the media. Again, we would like to welcome all of you to RIT Kosovo, AUK. We are an institution that loves the opportunity to be able to explore issues that are impacting society and, of course, especially Kosovo. It is great, with especially knowing that we have so many cadets here on our campus, and this topic today that the Prime Minister has agreed to come in here and speak on is one that I am sure will definitely be of key interest to our fellow cadets here in the audience. Without any further ado, it is very important that I take this time to introduce Kosovo's Prime Minister to you. Prime Minister, please come right on up here, and I'm going to turn this platform over to you. Let me just say, the Prime Minister has been a great friend of our university over the years, and students, you may not know this, but he does have his master's degree from this institution. So he is one of our great and famous alums. So Prime Minister, welcome on behalf of the university. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Dobardan, Nesheka, communiteteve, dear President Sharon Hart, dear faculty, staff, students, and KSF cadets, dear media, dear International Relations and Law Club, thank you for organizing this lecture today. As been agreed, today I will speak on KSF transformation. I have prepared for today's presentation some points that speaks about the political and security aspect of this transformation, then legal and as well operational. But allow me to begin by already saying something that is related to legal, and that is the Article 4 of the Kosovo Constitution. The point 7 says the Republic of Kosovo has institutions for the protection of the constitutional order and territorial integrity, public order and safety, which operates under the constitutional authority of the democratic institution of the Republic of Kosovo. And on Article 126 says Kosovo Security Force competences. So in Article 4 we find the basis of actions of our Parliament. Political, it's very important to know that the KSF transition is showing the clear path and commitment of Kosovo towards consolidation of the statehood, consolidation of national security, architecture, as well as regional contribution for stability and security. So the sovereign decision, along with comprehensive consultation, led to the success of proceeding the laws on KSF transition. So it was a process, not an isolated decision. This transparent process prepares Kosovo for its path towards NATO membership and allow it to further contribute toward peace and stability through peacekeeping operation. Kosovo will join NATO in coming years, and NATO's presence in Kosovo is welcome forever. I do believe that NATO membership for all countries in the region is the best alternative towards peace, security, and stability. Not only Kosovo, but also our region will benefit from KSF transition. Developing a multi-ethnic professional military will enhance regional security and stability. It avoids the formation of security vacuum in the Balkans, contributes to Kosovo's alignment with Euro-Atlantic values, facilitates Kosovo transition from a security consumer to a security provider, provides representation and support for all Kosovo communities, allows for greater engagement and cooperation with KFOR and NATO, and as well boosts our economy. This initiative will create as well, between other aspects of it, 2,500 new jobs. So KSF reflects the truth on Kosovo. It is the home of all communities. It's a professional, multi-ethnic and ready force. It's built and trained under NATO supervision, and the US has been the largest contributor for training, education and professional developments. KSF is perceived as the most trusted security institution in the country over the last 6 years. Conclusion, KSF, current and future orientation. KSF is credible, representative and ready force. For maintaining this level of professionalism, it must continue and enhance its cooperation with US and NATO. Building the KSF towards transition is vital to continue the development based on US and NATO standards in doctrine, leadership, weapons system and equipment. Legal aspects. It is known already that our Parliament has voted 3 laws: law on Ministry of Defence, law on Kosovo Security Force, and law on KSF serving. All 3 laws regulates I would say, the law on Ministry of Defence. Let's start by this. The name changed from Ministry of KSF to Ministry of Defence in full accordance with the Kosovo Constitution. Ministry of Defence is a state administration institution composed of civil servants and military personnel. The mandate of the Ministry of Defence is the civil control of KSF. All legal changes envisaged with this law will be conducted in full accordance with recommendation of the strategic functional review of the security sector in Kosovo stipulated in the Comprehensive Transition Plan. Law on KSF, I could go, this is much important. Law on Kosovo Security Force, this law regulates the mandate, organization, and the function of the Kosovo Security Force. General duties of KSF are to defend territorial integrity of the Republic of Kosovo, to provide support and assistance to communities, to provide military support to civilian authorities, to take part to international peace and humanitarian operations. Composition of KSF as a military multi-ethnic force professional, armed and authorized to serve in the country and abroad in accordance with the legal and constitutional mandate. KSF will be equipped with arms and military systems in full compliance with KSF needs in fulfilling its obligation and mandate. So the law on KSF service, this law regulates the service conditions that will include active members, reserve members, cadets, recruits, and civil personnel, so cadets as well. KSF service is built based on the principle of legality, professionalism, command, discipline, respect, honor, non-discrimination, political unbiased transparency, and accountability. I want to stop a little bit to the operational aspect of the KSF transition. The timeline for the development of full operational capabilities will be 10 years, divided into 3 development phases in order to prioritize and be budget affordable. The maintenance of KSF operational capabilities will continue in the KSF as well. Phase 1 is year 1 to 3, so timing will focus on the organization of the Ministry of KSF to the Ministry of Defence. Main headquarters of KSF as well, the main commands of KSF. The main priorities will be defence plan, training and doctrine, logistics support, recruitment and acquisition of armament systems, infantry, regiment to be developed by core territorial defence mission will commence early in the 2nd year. 1st regiment will be based Gilan, and 2nd regiment Istog, and 3rd regiment Mitrovica. Phase 2, so from year 4 to 6, will focus on the development of final training and logistic capabilities in support of land forces. So the first part will be the land forces, and that's the infantry regiments, the 3 that I mentioned. So now in the second part, It will be training and logistic capacities in support of Land Forces Command. And in year 4, we'll be having the 1st Infantry Regiment ready to conduct territorial defense operation. Phase 3, so this is a timing that can vary. You say from 1 to 4, from 4 to X, so it depends as well in dynamics and other conditions that might have an impact on timing. Phase 3 is year 7 to 10 as a final effort to develop combat support capabilities and combat service support capabilities, National Guard, development and continuation of a complex training to prove full operational capabilities. So in addition to land forces and regiments being mentioned, will be developed as well the National Guard of Kosovo as an integral part of the Kosovo force. Kosovo Security Force. At the end of the phase 3, KSF will be complete with active personnel equipment, but not necessarily with a reserve component. Personnel, so as talking about the personnel, Kosovo Security Force will have not more than 5,000 active members and 3,000 reserve members. The number of personnel when the operational capabilities should be achieved will be 4,744 active members, plus 250 vacant positions. Those are positions kept open for day-to-day needs. Weapon systems will be up to, this is as well important, equipment and infrastructure. All armaments and equipment systems are planned under NATO standards in order to be interoperable in joint operations. So we will not be dealing with technique or technology that is not a NATO one. Weapon systems will be up to 105 millimeters, like howitzer, helicopters, and all weapon systems to be able to fulfill the legal mission for territorial defense. The force will be completed with personnel equipment and training to fulfill missions, area for central support, defense and territorial integrity, military support for civilian authorities, and international operations. Some data on KSF. Minority presence in KSF is 10.2%. Serb community was 5.5%. After political pressure from Bulgaria towards Serb community KSF members, the actual percentage on Serbs is 2.5%. Gender, 8% are female in the force, and 1 female is a general, Irfeta Spahil. Here we have a big plan, but I might not be able to share all of it with you, but it's the plan that explains all 3 parts of transition. I mean the first stage, second and third. A plan that speaks precisely and all data on the infantry part and regiments, National Guard, the doctrine, I forgot to mention, this doctrine and the strategic aspects of the force will be as well on a very, I would say, well taken care and always there. So if you see our force will be having infantry, National Guard, and as well doctrine part. So always be able to prepare in advance everything needed for the force. It was a discussion, is this the right time or not? Is this done in full consultation or not? Is this, let me just point it out, this is a sovereign nation decision based in its constitution, and Kosovo's people and their elected officials has acted based in their mandate. At the same time, Kosovo finalizing its own architecture on security is the only way to help itself, to help the region, to help the world, but as well to help ethnic communities. Kosovo being final in its infrastructure, in its architecture of security, can protect everybody. A Kosovo that misses needed institutions for rule of law, for security, is not going to be able to defend its own population and not the ethnic minority. So it understands the position of some officials on the region that Kosovo is a threat to ethnic communities, to any, or to Serbs or to none. This is not true. This is only a help for a more secure Kosovo. Kosovo, with its army, it's not an arrogant nation that will not sit in the table of dialogue or that would take advantage on any of the regional or I would say further issues or bigger issues on stability. No, this is only a sign of maturity, of responsibility, and of as well paying back the service for peace that we have received in 2 decades already now. Thank you very much. This is my presentation. I'm open for questions and debate with you. Oh, sorry.
Does anyone have any questions that they would like to address? Yes, Kate?
Prime Minister, thank you for joining us and speaking with us. Since you claimed your position, you have appointed 3 different interior ministers. Why did you relieve FSK-së from his position?
Sorry, can you repeat the question? I'm not hearing it well and I didn't understand it.
Since your position in 2017, you have appointed 3 different ministers, interior ministers. Recently, you have relieved FSK-së from his position. Can you explain to us why?
Do you have some passion to wait if there is question related to KSF? And then I will be happy to talk even in this issue. Thank you.
Can you tell us more about the logistics regarding the KSF?
Logistics.
Sorry?
Can you tell us more about the logistics? Who will do the logistics?
There is a plan as well on let me use the term equipments for KSF. We work bilaterally with the United States on this issue, and it will be developed based on the phases being agreed on transition of KSF. So as the dynamics happens, that will be going on. Some already is in a process, like some, I would say, transport technology and more. But we continue. We already have a separate plan on equipments. But
locally, up to 10 years?
No. The dynamics is flexible. So something that is supposed to happen in 3 years might happen in the first year, but it's from 1 to 3, or might happen only on the third year. So it's flexible. However, this is open now, and we are already working with partners on, I would say, on a list of needed things.
Okay, thank you.
Please.
Yes, good evening.
Thank you for being here. First of all, I would like to ask you a short question. How do you think that the formation of army would actually affect the negotiations with Serbia? Because we know that they're not very active. By which is short term.
My understanding is that Serbia will recognize us for what we are, not for what we are not. So we will have Serbia through consolidating ourselves to recognize us one day. So if we finish our homework and the architecture on security and institutions, and we do our homework on rule of law, we fight the corruption, we do economic growth, we treat with respect Kosovo our Serbs and the dignity, then I'm sure that we'll have the dialogue. But no way that having an army that would block Kosovo capacities to be a responsible party in the table. It would only as well increase self-confidence and maturity of ourselves in the table, in the dialogue. So other way it would be wrong then, because we have an army and this will block the dialogue. So Serbia has an army, but they still come in the table. So army that gives you enough leverage not to be in the table. And many other nations that has armies, strong armies, still they sit in the table for different issues. So I think it will not have an impact, direct impact in dialogue.
Hello, Prime Minister. I'm Stanislav Cadet of Security Force of Kosova. And my question to you is, will KSF be ready and capable of helping other states in the region in the case of natural catastrophes, for example?
I think one of the reasons why we have the trust today and the blessing of acting with a mandate for our force is the good work being done all these years, in 2 decades, by KSF people, commanders, officers, soldiers. Everybody did a great job. Not only you did win the trust of all ethnic communities, including Kosovar Serbs, young people and their families, but as well you proved to be very respectful civil control command, but you being asked to assist in any disaster in the region. It was floods, or it was fires, or it was other challenges, natural disasters. You proved to be very functional. So KSF has received a good, I would say, grade on that by KFOR, by NATO, and I think, yes, future that would continue. However, now and on, you will not be, I have to say, a force only of natural disasters. This means the force is only a defensive force. It's not a force that operates out of a country, except on a partnership for peace and other activities that are of agreement with NATO and with allies. So just that you know that there is no free activity of our force out of our country without any, I would say, argumenting, except if when it's joined towards partnership for peace and bilateral with our allies. With this, there is no limits as well of serving our country inside the country, everywhere we are. Thank you. But there is a difference on the actions. So on the natural disasters, procedure is very simple. Macedonia needs some help, we can help. Montenegro, Albania, or who else? On the next Monday, that's not the case. So in the additional competencies, this is a different story. So it's other procedures and protocol supplies.
Okay, Jakob.
As Kosovo has continued to protect its own borders and maintain stability, do you think that they would ever need to administer a policy of conscription similar to Austria, Turkey, or Israel?
The last part I missed, sorry.
Do you think that in the future that Kosovo would have to administer a policy of conscription similar to Austria, or Turkey, or Israel?
I don't see how to compare that. Would you give me some explanation how that? What you have in mind, because I'm not that familiar with the second.
In terms of some conscription, making military service mandatory for.
You. yeah. No, I understand. Sorry. It's on everything described in law. It's only professional force because you have in law. So in future, who knows what elected people might think? But so far, this is everything defined. So the number, the way of recruitment, and it's only professional force. So it's not, many nations used to be obligatory, voluntary and all. In our case, it's professional force. So this is in law. And on the mandate and all, there is no limit in mandate of our force, as every other army in the world. Inside the nation, inside the country, there is no limits. So I heard some people saying you are adding some more competencies to KSF. It's not the case. It's not more competencies. It's a mandate. And mandate in its definition with its responsibilities. So that's why the maturity of our force and maturity of our political system as well has to come together now and be responsible on what law says and what Constitution says.
Are you on it? Yeah.
Mr. Babadan,
I
have to make this tangent. From the perspective of Kosovo, a 1244 may be dead, but internationally speaking, it's still alive and there's a detail. Can you please shed some light on this?
I think it's important to know, seeing what we have agreed so far. And I think Kosovo, having been signed a contract with you, that is the SAA, Association Stabilization Agreement, That's the contract that EU uses it for next members. It's a pre-contract, for pre-candidate status. So we treat ourselves based in this position. So the fact that we are in an obligation, contractual obligations with the EU, with the Union, on the SAA, we work based on this. So we know the chronology, we know through what we went. It was 1244, it was every stage of our life, Declaration of Independence. However, today we are under contractual obligations with you, and we have an SAA. So we believe this is the basis and the foundation of our own decisions, as we ourselves aspire same than every nation in the region, like starting from Bosnia. Six left, not been in yet. Serbia, then Macedonia itself, ourselves, Montenegro, and Albania. We all are aiming membership in EU. I mentioned as well the fact that Kosovo is convinced that membership in NATO is in our interest. This is the only difference with Serbia, that they haven't decided yet which way they go. So based on this, I think the foundation for what we do today, it is not just on our Declaration of Independence and commitment and whom we are and being recognized. In fact, don't forget, we are one of the candidates for EU membership. So, and we have an SAA. So this is very powerful position where we are. And I keep working based on that. That's why we work rule of law. That's why we are very focused on our obligations, our responsibilities on rule of law, because it's as well as a Association Stabilization Agreement.
Yes,
and I could answer all this question in Serbian. Mogu sam da odgovaram na Serbian, baš da, izvini. Ali pošto nisam ni dao ni odgovore na albanskom, onda sam se služio na engleskom.
Sir, unfortunately, you have still recognized us under the resolution 1224, which actually denies us the right to have our own army, except for a foreign army, such as K4. How do you think that this army will actually affect the relations with the UN states, and how did the UN react to our formation of army?
The role of UN in Kosovo, it is, let me put it this way, it's from a very big organization. UN is, Kosovo is delegated to some other actors. And those actors are US-EU. So that everybody realizes that we are a candidate for UN membership seat, but we are not under any jurisdiction of UN, or we don't take any orders or any from UN. So we work now as a sovereign nation. We respect all the signatures that we have put after being sovereign. One of that is the SAA, that is very powerful, and this is the foundation on what we work. With this, still, we work with many agencies of United Nations in our country, like UNHCR, like others, UNDP. They are a very respectful organization, but we are not anymore jurisdiction or under any obligations toward United Nations on a type of decisions. We are sovereign nations. So this is the difference. All those individual nations that recognize us, none of them recognize us 544. They recognize us 17th of February 2008, Constitution, territory, and whom we are. So we work based on this. So if we can always go in as far as we wish. However, it's good to respect in what we are today. This is the real life. That was the past, actually.
I will ask the last question to the Prime Minister. Dear Prime Minister, what is the legacy you would like to leave for future generations?
This is a surprise question, and I am ambushed because I have to reduce the whole legacy on few words. So very difficult for me. However, I think it's good if you are in charge. It's good to deliver. It's good to make things happen. The world is, or civilization, or the it's only through added value, through something that is happening and didn't happen until yesterday. I would always please everybody, never satisfy yourself of administrating the existence. Fight for something that it's missing or it's not happening. The logic of this government was, let's decide, let's deliver, let's implement. And I think this will stay. This is not a legacy, this is reality. On a question of our colleague, can I answer to that? Yes. I promise to do so. I run a government that is a coalition government. And a coalition government is a contract from between political parties, like ourselves, the Alliance for Future of Kosovo, Democratic Party of Kosovo, Lista for Kosovo, the Alliance Kosovo Array, or New Kosovo, and like this. So often the dismissal of ministers is related with political, I would say, support or trust of the partners. However, the first minister was dismissed for the fact that deportation of 6 foreign citizens happened, to my understanding, on a breach of, I would say, constitutional and lawful obligations to inform other superiors like me. At the time, deportation of 6 people happened without me being aware or informed or being asked for, my opinion. And that's why, at the time, First Minister left for that. It's not related to Kosovo ourselves, to North, because then what's happened with the AUK director. The 2 of them left that day because, as you know, Kosovo is very known for its human aspects, human values. We will never allow that people who live with us to suffer because of our mistakes. In the same time, we have high respect for respected nations, like the Republic of Turkey, and we want to have respectful relations, but we have our codes, we have our system of values, and not only that, we have constitutional laws that we have to respect. With this, I conclude then my discussion with you, or as media, or no.
Do you have any questions?
I see his hand. I don't know. He might go out of. Do të thotë, unë kam taku vetë qytetarë serb edhe familjet e tyre si kadet 3. Edhe çuxoj rastin me u bë thirrje, mos i banojnë këto presione që janë përkohshme. E pas pak ditë vetëm të humbës do të jenë ata kadet që jelçojnë. Se ata që ju bojnë presion kanë me i harru pastaj. Edhe ju bëj thirrje mos ta bëjnë atë. Në njëjtën kohë, po ashtu ju them, tyne mos i lëshoni detyrat e juaja, se ka plot bashkëtar të jujt, ka plot serb që janë ka kërkojnë mu bo pjesë e FSK-së. Arsyeja pse nuk i kemë bo publik është që mos e i bo target të presioneve, po ne kemi një listë madhe të rive serb që kanë kërku mu bo pjesëtar të FSK-së. Për tash ku po flasim, po ndodh, është rrit kërkesa për me u antarësu në FSK. Po nuk do i bojmë publike, e donat personale tyne do t'i rujmë me kujdesin më të madh, që të mos ketë mundësi pra presioni shtu mbi ta. Sa i përket, a ke dhe i pyetje tjera s'ka? Ne kemi bo kujdes ndaj unë mikut, edhe kënë shpresu që dhe ndaj urlijëse me OKB-n, ma shpejt mu antarësu në OKB, nuk po del ashtu. Pra nuk ka nëj kapacitet unë mikun këtu s'per respekton as OKB-ja atje. U pa rasti e seansës të Asamblea Generale, pra nuk ishte nëj profilje, jo vetëm që pajtojmë ato që ka hënë Amerika, po është e rëndësishme me ndodhe. Ka ndryshu edhe misioni i rendit dhe ligjit i EU-s, po EU-leksi që ka qenë i përbashkët, ka ndryshu mandat. Pa nuk e kuptojmë që do të unë miku me mbetë. Këto, falenderit shumë. Atëre falenderit gjithë, a do në dhe një? Unë s'du me marrë rolin, ju merë.
Thank you to everyone for being present.